you're going to see Green Bay first up on the Monday night schedule when the Eagles visit Lambeau in Week 10. Are the Eagles the team to beat in the NFL again this year, you think, Troy?
It's an easy one to say yes to for me because as someone who has won some Super Bowls, I do think until proven otherwise, they're the team to beat. But with that said, I just think it's such a great organization. It's well run. I say it every time we have an Eagles game. I think Howie Roseman has done just a terrific job of, it seems like whenever they're really loaded and yet in the middle of the season, they do things that just make themselves stronger. I just think he manages that roster as well as anybody in the league. And I like that staff. I love what they've done with what Nick Sirianni has done, Vic Fangio coming back as defensive coordinator. And I like that. Of course, Jalen Hurts, everything's kind of built around him. And then with what Saquon Barkley has done. And there's not much not to like about the Eagles. I do feel that they're the best in the NFC right now.
And I think the last time the Eagles made the Super Bowl and lost is how so many people are viewing the Lions this year, Troy. And by that I mean the Lions losing both coordinators. The Eagles, last time that happened in a Super Bowl run, they took a step back, and everyone's kind of assuming, for the lack of a better phrase, that the Lions are about to suffer a similar fate, that Ben Johnson might have been Jared Goff's secret sauce. What's your opinion on that, Troy?
Well, and I'm glad you asked that. I will say also, I mentioned the Eagles and talking about their staff. They lose Kellen Moore. So, here you've got Jalen Hurts going through that again.
Right.
I hate it for him, as many different play callers as he's had to work with. But your point with the Lions, it's real. I've been there. I've been there when you lose a defensive coordinator. We lost Dave Wanstead after our first Super Bowl. And then the next year, you lose Norv Turner, and those coaching matters. There are some. There might be a guy in Dallas who doesn't appreciate coaching maybe as much as I do, but I think coaching really matters. And so I do think that for this season, the Lions, excuse me, if anyone can overcome it, it's Dan Campbell. But that is challenging, and it'll be a different feel for Jared Goff. I've heard his comments. You've been used to working with a guy like Ben Johnson and what they had going, and then you've kind of got to rebuild that with someone else. And it's not just about knowing the offense. It's about it's knowing when to call the plays and set things up, and really be a quarterback-friendly system. Ben Johnson did that for Goff, and that'll be the challenge for the Lions. Can they kind of regroup with different staff and play at the level that we've seen from them? But it is hard, and it's also hard when you get disappointed the way that they have in the postseason to come back year after year and to continue to be competitive and play at that level.
Yeah, and you and Joe are seeing Detroit Week 3 on Monday Night Football at Baltimore. What a great game. Yeah. That's good. A paint-swapping affair, certainly on that Week 3 Monday Nighter.